Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, Awake Em. Welcome if you're new, I'm Emma. In today's video, I'll be sharing how I organise my life, increase productivity, evoke mindfulness, and improve my well-being using this journal. I'll share what inspired me to start, what issues I faced, and I'll flip through my setup for 2022. We place so much pressure on ourselves these days to live up to our own unrealistic expectations of ourselves, or worse, those of other people. For probably the last 16 years since becoming a mum at 18, I'd had this picture in my head of me being this perfect person. Keeping my kids fed with homemade healthy meals, well educated and stimulated by more than just phones and tablets and TV. You know, getting stuck into one-to-one activities with them, whilst keeping the home they live in clean and organised and making sure the bills were paid and holding down a well-paid full-time job with my own aspirations and goals, meditating, exercising, being fit and healthy by walking 10,000 steps a day, going out with friends because I needed time away from being a mum, me time, but also having time for my husband to keep my relationship alive, and somehow managing to keep myself alive, doing all of these things on about 5 hours sleep a night. Not surprisingly, this perfect person never existed. No perfect person exists, because perfection is just quite simply a standard people make up by their own perceptions. What was deemed perfect to me then isn't now, and what is deemed perfect by one person will be different to another. Yet I compared myself daily to the perfect standard that I personally had created, and I beat myself up when I didn't measure up, which was never realistic because there's no standard for perfect. Nobody is perfect at everything. Some things went how I'd hoped, sometimes, and then sometimes things went completely wrong or played out differently because we never know what's going to happen. Not everything is in our control all of the time. Attempting to gain some control, I'd spent loads of time pouring my life's tasks, events, random thoughts and ideas onto paper, which is a really good thing. It helps to declutter your head of things so they don't all get mixed up and forgotten about. But I'd pour them onto random scraps of paper and across several notebooks, and so guess what? These things were still all mixed up and still got forgotten about. I needed a better system for organising my life and pouring my thoughts out neatly and to the point, so I could find information quickly and easily and remember things. So whilst I was chatting to a friend about this, she recommended a look at Ryder Carroll's bullet journal method. I'd never heard of it, but it's basically a way of capturing and organising information in bulleted lists, but in one place, not 10, just one journal. I took to YouTube to learn about Ryder's method and thought, yeah, looks nice and simple, looks like it would work for me. And then it complicated things slightly when I also started clicking on other bullet journal videos showing how you can have a few journals at once for different things, fill them out with tons of different spreads for noting, tracking, reviewing every aspect of your life, and decorating them with amazing works of art using pens and stickers and paint and tape and calligraphy, and thought, wow, I'm going to do this. I went out and paid £20 for a dotted journal, spent a good few nights creating way too many page spreads, especially given I was only a beginner. I tore so many pages out of it because I kept making mistakes and wanted everything to be perfect. And so what was meant to be a tool to help me be more productive, evoke mindfulness and improve my well-being was actually turning out to be quite time-consuming and stressful. So I gave it up after a few days. I never fully gave up on the idea though. I just spent a few weeks reflecting on where I went wrong. I tried to do it someone else's way and what I could change so that journaling would work for me, and that was to simplify. I'd pulled my dotted journal to pieces whilst seeking perfectionism on every page, so I needed a new one. I decided I was going to use digital spreads, which would only need to be set up once and then maybe tweaked a couple of times and printed in seconds whenever I needed replacements. I had Canva, which is a free digital design software, a laptop and a printer, so getting started was easy and never cost me much money. And to hold my printouts, I bought a clear plastic binder which can be reused when full and easily personalised whenever I feel like a change. My journal is arranged in collections, and the first is my annual page spreads. The first page is my key, which I've taken from Ryder Carroll's bullet journal method. Events are marked with this open circle bullet, and these are date-related entries that can either be scheduled, like a birthday, or logged after they occur, like getting a new job. Those bigger moments in time. Tasks are represented by a simple dot, and we use a dot instead of like a checkbox because it's fast and clean and can easily be transformed to reflect the state of the task. I'll show you how in just a minute. Tasks are simply things that you have to get done and can be either task incomplete, just the dot, task completed, the dot with a cross through it, task migrated to collection, the dot with a forward arrow, task migrated to future log for scheduling later, the dot with a backward arrow, task cancelled with a simple strikeout, notes represented with a dash include facts and ideas and thoughts. They're used to capture information or data you don't want to forget, so they're useful in meetings or for general reminders. Signifiers are symbols that give your entries additional context at a glance. These are placed to the left of the bullet so they stick out, making them easy to spot when scanning your pages. And here are just two useful examples, but you can feel free to come up with your own. Priority, marked with an asterisk, used for the most important things on your list. You don't want to use this too much though, because if everything's a priority, then nothing really is. Inspiration, marked with an exclamation mark. I use this for any great ideas or insights. Index, this lives at the front of your journal. You simply add the topics of your collection and the page numbers to the index so you can find them easily later. Anytime I add a page, I number it and add it straight into the index. Vision board and annual goals. So I've dedicated a whole video to how I created my vision board and another on goal setting and creating action plans. But as an overview, this is the first vision board I've ever made, and I'll be making one every year now going forward. Making this was such a calm and enjoyable process, which forced me to reflect on all areas of my life, helped me appreciate the life I have now more, and it helped me to discover my true values and set clear life goals. From creating my vision board, I narrowed my focus on 6 different areas of my life, which I believe require the most focus and attention, and then set a SMART goal in each of these areas for 2022. Having my vision board and goals here means I see them every day, which is perfect because they remind me of what path I really do want to be on, so I'm less likely to get lost again, and they also motivate me to bring my goals to life. To do this, I created a SMART action plan for each of my goals, including steps I could take. Later on, you'll see how having these in here helped me to set my smaller monthly goals. And to help me track my progress towards achieving each of my goals, I created a specific tracker for each. So for health and my goal of losing weight and body fat, I have a weight loss tracker. For well-being and my goal of improving my mental focus and strength, I have this mood tracker. For relationships and my goal of spending more one-to-one time with those closest to me, I have my monthly and weekly calendars and planners to refer to. Personal growth and my goal to learn more about each of the areas of focus in my life. I have these trackers broken down by area of focus to record details of any related books I've read or courses I've attended. My social goal to build an online community of 1,000 subscribers. I have my YouTube stats page, and my financial goal to save an emergency fund of £1,000 this year. I have this savings tracker right here, which I update every time I put away £50. My last annual spread is my annual future log. This log is like a time machine, allowing you to glimpse the outlines of your future that you're working towards. And my tip is to review your future log to see if anything can be migrated into your monthly planner. Moving on to my monthly page spreads. I have a simple page outlining which month we're on, and my monthly planner, which is a minimal calendar designed to provide like an overview of the month. You can use it to schedule events and tasks, or record events after they happen, or both. And entries here just need to be short and to the point, as this page is designed as a reference only. Moving on to my monthly goals page, basically cherry pick actions listed in my annual goal action plans and make them into my monthly goals. This page can also be used to help you take a monthly mental inventory. So what are the priorities for the month? What remains undone from last month and what matters now? Get it off your mind and list it here. Whilst asking yourself these questions, you're naturally reflecting, and so completing this monthly reflection page at the end of each month should be simple. Sometimes with us leading such busy lives with so much going on, we find it hard to reflect on some specific things. Maybe you wonder why you're not working so well on a specific goal, but can't put a finger on why. And maybe it's those small, consistent bad habits that we're not even aware of that keep us in a bad cycle or off track. Trying to form new good habits and tracking them can help us get back on track to achieving goals. So for example, some habits I'm tracking this month: how many days I managed to keep my calorie intake below 1,338. As you can see, it wasn't quite every day, but it's something I need to do if I am to achieve my annual health and weight loss goal. How many days I managed to walk my dog, which contributes to my own health goal again, but also to my dog's health. How many days I managed to practice gratitude, which we'll talk about in a minute. And how many days I managed to sit down and spend time on this journal, filling it out and using it as it was intended. When we're trying to make a new habit happen, checking off the days we're making it happen feels rewarding. It's like an accountability tool and it reminds us to keep working. Eventually, I may look at tracking other habits such as sleep and water intake and self-care. It's entirely up to you and what your personal goals are. And there are tons of options, but as I said, this is all new to me, so I don't want to become overwhelmed and try to track too much at once. Gratitude log. So I did explain what this was all about in my January goal setting video, but in case you haven't seen that one yet, I decided I was going to practice gratitude daily. So each night I find a few minutes to sit and think about something I'm truly grateful for that day and write it down on this page, so that I can reflect on these things daily too, to reinforce the positive emotions that come with being grateful. I set practicing gratitude as a goal for January, but only started halfway through the month, and yet I feel that it's going as I'd hoped, so I'll be continuing with this for sure. The next couple of pages, a few of you will have seen already if you've watched my budgeting videos. I've posted a couple of videos on how I budget, and also posted reviews of me spending using this template and cash envelope stuffing as a method to managing my money better. It's definitely worked, so check out those videos, and those I'll be continuing to post if you'd like to learn more. Onto my weekly page spreads. My weekly planner is designed for day-to-day use, like my diary I suppose. Every Sunday, as part of my weekly reset routine, which I will share with you in another video, I look over my future log and monthly planner, and I log all of my events and tasks and notes for the week, and then during the course of each day, or sometimes just for 5 minutes before I go to bed, I update my tasks, so mark them as either completed, migrated or cancelled, and I'll add some notes. The good thing about these printouts is that if I decide they don't work for me, so for example some days I haven't had enough space to log all that I've wanted, I can just go onto Canva and spend 10 minutes redesigning them. I've shown me weekly meal planner and grocery list in other videos, how I budget and plan for grocery shopping and meal planning. Meal planning might seem structured and time consuming or overdoing it, but the reality is far from that. It's on the contrary really. It helps you with the practical aspects of meal prep, from knowing what to cook and saving you money, reducing food waste and time. Brain dump pages. Well, I don't know about you, but I often have so many thoughts running through my head at once that it can seem overwhelming, and I can get panicked at everything I need to get done. Where do I start? How do I fit it all in? And this is where the brain dump is a lifesaver. You may notice this more when you're trying to sleep or even when you're trying to concentrate on something. But how many times have you had someone talk to you and then you realise you have no idea what they just said? Like you're not fully awake to your surroundings because you're lost in your own mind and thoughts. This is me on the daily. A brain dump is a simple technique to help you declutter your mind and your thoughts. Just write Write every little thing in your mind. It might not make any sense at all, and it doesn't need to make sense. It doesn't need to be neat or in any kind of order. Some days you might write lists and lists of things running through your mind. Other times you may end up doodling and only having a few notes. Remember to do what feels most natural to you. You're doing the first step, which is discard, and we worry about the tidying up later. And you'll know when you've done enough because you'll feel physically lighter. You might even find yourself letting out a big breath. Some people do a brain dump daily or weekly, but my best advice is to do it whenever you're feeling overwhelmed or stressed or drowning in the lists and tasks running through your mind. You might find it hard to sleep, in which case I'd suggest doing a quick brain dump before bed each evening, which is when I tend to do it myself. You'll be surprised at how quickly this relaxes you. And brain dumps can be used as a way to start understanding your habits and gain more self-awareness. So after you've emptied your mind, what next? Now's the time to organise all those tasks and thoughts so that you don't need to spend any more time thinking about them. Just go through each item you've noted and organise it. Some of this may be simple, like adding things to your daily to-do list or to your meal planner. You may find that some things don't need to be entered into your journal at all. These could be things you need to let go of for your own happiness. These things might come up again in a couple more brain dumps, but eventually you'll learn to let them stop bothering you because you'll realise that they are either out of your control entirely or you'll start making plans to deal with them. And you'll free up mental energy to put towards other things. So my last weekly page spread is my week in pictures and weekly reflection. I added my week in pictures to prompt and encourage me to capture more memories and photographs, mainly because I don't remember to take enough of them, and also that I have plenty of physical copies of them, and not just digital ones on my phone, which could be lost very easily. As morbid as this might sound, if anything happened to me tomorrow, literally thousands of my photographs would disappear with me, as nobody would know how to access them. I want my photographs to remain after me. Looking at these helps me to reflect easily on my week and complete my weekly reflection. So you've seen my annual, monthly and weekly collections in my journal. I can take away, add or alter any of these spreads whenever I want, or to reflect where I'm at in life in terms of progressing towards achieving my goals and getting to know myself. There are a few things to track, but I've timed how long it takes me to keep my journal up to date daily, including updating my planners with events and tasks and notes, updating all of my trackers, as well as allowing myself some time for the vital brain dump. And on average, it takes around 15 minutes, which, based on how I feel just after setting up this journal and using it for the last couple of months, is going to be such a valuable use of my time, allowing me to organise my life, prioritise my tasks to ensure best use of my time, and also reflect on the past, evoking mindfulness, and helping me remain present whilst keeping perspective. A dialogue with myself, I suppose, on past, present and future. Deciding on which and how many spreads to set up in my journal and creating all of my templates did take me a fair few hours, and I did modify a couple of them a few times after realising they didn't work for me. But now I can literally print all of them ready for a new journal when this one's full, or for a new year in just a couple of minutes. Check out the description in this video for details on how you can either make or get hold of some ready-made page spreads like mine. No matter which type of journal you decide to keep, remember there's no right or wrong approach, it's all up to you. And the simple act of taking the time to get in touch with your mind, your body and your spirit is what's truly important. I hope you've enjoyed this video and found it helpful. Let me know by giving me a like or by sharing your thoughts in the comments. Hit the bell and subscribe button for more content like this and on planning and intentional living. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye for now.